All right, guys. So explain the importance of Armistice Day. Okay, so I think it's important to put the date down in your notes. Make sure you know. Probably already know though. And then what is the date of this important day? Now holiday. So there you go. There you go. Anyway, I want you to talk a little bit about where this was signed, right? Where this armistice took place. Okay, again, we'll talk about the history of this place here soon enough. Okay, when we get closer to World War II, the start of it, right? How this, well, I don't want to give it away. Hey, I'll give you guys some time. Here you go. I don't know. What's wrong with you? You know the tournament. I just haven't found a can yet. I gotta get ready. But no, you guys do your job.
I was walking on my way to school and it was raining and she wanted a Red Bull really bad and I passed custody. I was almost at the school and then my mom sent me money when I was almost at the school. So I booked it to puppies and I got some.
Yeah.
So this is well earned.
There you go. All right, fair enough. You're in track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a good warm up then, right?
Well,
A little early for that.
Backpedaling up the giant hill yesterday and I slipped. And then
told her she would, you can't even talk.
and then I tried to get up and I slipped more.
You see these things.
That was funny.
Hilarious.
My misery was funny.
No, it's Reagan Buffington. I never thought she'd wear glasses like this. Interesting. All right, here we go. What do we have for Armistice Day? The date? What do we got? What do we got? When did this happen? Come on now. We're all talking, chit-chatting around, even making noise with our water bottle. Go ahead, Blake.
You're 11, 19.
Yes, good job. So the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, easy way to remember it, right? 1918. Okay, and this is where we see the sides come together, right? Where Germany is going to surrender to the Allied powers. Right? Yeah, we did talk beforehand about the United States as we're joining, Russia's leaving, right? And this is just going to overwhelm the German troops. Anyway, real quick, where did they sign this armistice? Where did this happen? One of your terms. Do your best to pronounce it, I guess. If you don't want this lollipop. Jason, go ahead. Yes.
That's what I'm gonna say.
No, you did not. You're saying about Versailles. We're gonna get to that today, buddy. All right, so the wagon of Compiègne, which is a rail car, right? And again, we'll talk about the history of this rail car when we get to the start of World War II. This thing's not going away. And it's gonna be a symbolic place that these armistice is two of them. Yeah, we'll mention about the other one down the line. Right, but here with World War One, okay, this is Ferdinand Foch's private rail car. So he is part of the Allied powers, okay, general of the Allied powers. And he thought, yep, you know what, we're gonna sign it here. Okay, so this is kind of ending the war. Why do I say kind of? Go ahead, Jason. Yeah, good job. So even after this armistice was signed, a lot of the German generals continue to fight, continue to push, right? We mentioned about how this was interwoven within the German culture, right? Military, right? When it comes to warfare, blood and iron, okay, this is what unified Germany together. This is a part of their pride, right? Their nationalism. So to give up like this doesn't just happen, right? And they're bitter about it, very bitter. And we'll mention more today about how this is only going to lead to more tensions, and the Allied powers are going to try to really kick them into the dirt, right? To make sure that Germany never rises again, right? So, as you can imagine, a way to try to handcuff a country to make sure that they don't grow again is to take away their industrialization. And the biggest thing here for Germany, their military. Okay, that's not going to go over well. And we'll mention more about that here today. Okay, what's the holiday? What do we celebrate here? Awesome. Well, yeah, but what do we know it as? Even more. Yeah, Veterans Day, good job. So yeah, Armistice Day, Veterans Day. Okay, we celebrate it every November 11th. And I know we devoted a whole day on it, which is good, which is great. Again, we should always show respect, okay, to our veterans, like not just on that day, but right, so we have this holiday to represent, right, those that serve. Okay, here are your terms. We're going to finish them up here today. And I'm going to publish the assignment. So when you're done, you can just submit it. Then you're finished. All right. These two here, I have a part of the big four. And I only included these two just because, well, you already know Woodrow Wilson. You already do. All right. These two, though, are very important when it comes to establishing the parameters of the Treaty of Versailles. Right. So you got the Prime Minister of Great Britain and France, and they are going to do their darnest. Right. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that Germany never rises to power, never becomes a threat down the line. Right. So I'll let you guys write down these terms. And again, this is it. So I'm going to publish the assignment. When you're done, you can submit it, and then you're good. I believe I have the Quizlet and the booklet attached to the assignment. So you guys, bless you. You guys can obviously study a while, get prepared for this coming Tuesday here. It's coming Tuesday. Shh.
I answered 2 questions.
Are you calling me out while I'm
Yeah.
streaming live?
Yeah.
Dude. All right. All right.
I helped him with his answers.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Chase did.
I don't have all this candy. I need this candy. You didn't do nothing. I don't hear it. Hey. Come on. What did you say? I think so. Ariel, don't you try to guilt me here. You don't have enough for everybody. You shouldn't do it, right? Should eat it. All right. Fair enough.
So why they get.
Oh, well, because they had current events. They did a good job.
They're participating.
Yes.
I tried, but then he cut me off.
I cut you off because you're wrong.
Oh, I could have changed my name for that.
I don't think so.
Reparations. We're gonna talk about it today.
All right, here we go. So we finished off talking about Armistice Day. And again, there's still fighting that happened afterwards. There's still fighting. What are you calling? You guys actually know. So what are you calling? All right. Anyway, so with Armistice Day, this rail car, right? This is the symbolic ending of World War One. The official's coming. And like I mentioned yesterday, the official ending of the war actually is a direct cause to World War II. The Treaty of Versailles is only going to cause some issues, concerns, and problems moving forward. All right, we'll talk about it. Some of the dynamics of the treaty, I guess, is needed. You can kind of see why they wanted to do it, but maybe they went a little too far. All right, last thing here I want to mention. I really want to make sure we cover this because I was talking to Avery about the current event. This was something maybe you guys can pick up on. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Okay, that is the treaty where Russia is leaving the war. Obviously, if a country is leaving the war, Russia, right, they need to have some sort of negotiation, peace talks with who they're at war with, Germany. All right, with that being said, parts of Europe and Eastern Europe was given to Germany for a short time. That's it. We'll mention what happened after the Treaty of Versailles. Anyway, real quick, so the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, Russia's leaving. That means wherever Germany was at, that goes to Germany, right? It makes sense. It makes sense. As Germany's pushing out here in parts of what we know of Russia, what we know of more of the Eastern European states today, that this map's going to change. You know what that means? On a map quiz. Oh boy. All right. So with that being said, Germany's going to gain this territory for a bit of time. Then it's going to just change. All right, here we go. So results of the war, 5 million Allied fighters and 8 million Central Power soldiers were killed during the conflict. Have we ever seen a war with this many casualties, this many deaths? No, we haven't. No, we haven't. All right, again, this is the first technological war, the first modern war. Yeah, there have been a lot of wild conflicts like the Napoleonic Wars, but one of this magnitude, one of this forms of weaponry, again, the world's never seen. Okay, anyway, 6.5 million innocent civilians were killed. So you can imagine just getting caught in a crossfire, right? When you think about a lot of the shipments coming across the Atlantic and sunk by U-boats, these wolf packs, and Lusitania being a good example. And also you imagine the trenches being dug out all throughout Europe, 400 miles, over 400 miles just in the Western Front alone. Right, so yeah, people are losing their livelihood, they're losing their land, they're losing their lives in this costly war. Right, constant bombing runs over many industrial areas. Right, obviously in these industrial areas, these are cities. That's where a lot of the people live. Right, so unfortunately, we see many deaths, many casualties. Right, that people weren't really involved in the conflict. Again, with warfare, it's brutal, it's ugly, it's awful, and well, unfortunately, we know that civilians are going to get caught in the crossfire. All right, 50,000 Americans were killed and 230,000 wounded in World War One. All right, again, as we're joining the war, we thought that this was somewhat of a game, right? America's never seen a war, a conflict like this, right? You got to imagine this is kind of a generation after the Civil War. So many of those people have died off. They don't really understand warfare. And in this case here, with industrialization and how that's applied to warfare, how this looks. Right, the Spanish-American War, like I mentioned, you'll learn more about that down the line. That was known as the splendid little war. It was only 6 months, and there's very little casualties and deaths. So we didn't really have a taste of it until now. Right? This is going to prompt the United States to kind of wake up a bit, which we'll mention it doesn't happen right away. And there's a reason for it. It's because everybody, after a war like this, is calling for disarmament. You guys know what I mean by that? Try to reduce your military. Like, hey, militarism, remember that caused to World War I? The M for mania? Well, we got to back off on this, right? We got to relax because this is one of the causes for the war. All right, so as you can see, even though we ended the war just with a year left, obviously, we're only in it for about a year. All right, we still have quite a bit of deaths and casualties. Is this comparable though to what Germany faced? No. Is this comparable to what France and Great Britain? No. Right? Generation of men, right, were killed in this war for Great Britain and France, for Germany. Right? It's going to take another generation here in order to raise the numbers up again and go at it again, right? In World War II, we'll talk about. All right, here we go. So the Treaty of Versailles, where did it happen? Well, obviously the Palace of Versailles, right, Eli? I answered that for you, so don't really fun. All right, so what's going on here? Where did they actually meet in the Palace of Versailles? They met in the Hall of Mirrors. Okay, so you guys remember walking through the Hall of Mirrors, showing pictures? It was cool. It's awesome, right? Anyway, this is where they decided the Big Four and many other diplomats around the world to try to hash this thing out. All right, so these are some of the effects here on Germany that you need to write down. Right, these are very, very important. It's going to lead directly into World War II. All right, so even though the negotiations are ending World War I, boy oh boy, did it flop. And the reasons for it is because maybe the Allied powers had something else in mind. Right? Maybe they didn't really want peace so much. They did. They want to see the war come to an end. Don't get me wrong. But here's their opportunity to get rid of that big bully on the playground, right? Here's their opportunity to get rid of Germany, who's been causing problems for France and Great Britain's ranking as a world power. Right? No other country ever challenged Great Britain or France like this. No other. Right? This is actually, this country, Germany, as they unified, this is what brought the two to see side to side. Right? They see themselves as an alliance. That's never happened. We talked about it since the beginning of this course, this class, that France and Great Britain hated each other. But now, right, Germany, right, now that's going to drive this alliance between the two. Anyway, like I mentioned, what are they going to do? They're going to punish them. So number one, when you think about the penalties, you want to just label these as penalties, that'd be good. Right? So when you see this maybe on the test, down the line here, right, the start of World War II, this is where you look, right, with this Treaty of Versailles. So number one, war guilt clause, just meaning that Germany is getting the sole blame. Did they start this war? How did this war start? Remember, mania, right? But what was finally the event that led to the war that started this thing here? Luna?
Someone from the Black Hand in Serbia killed the Austrian main leader guy.
All right, yeah, main leader guy. Okay, so Gavrilo Princip of the Black Hand, Serbian nationalist group, assassinated Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. Remember this? No, it's been some time. But was Germany involved in that at all? Huh? Were they? No. Were they aggressive though with their militarism? Of course. Were they a threat to Great Britain and France? Oh yeah. Even though they didn't start this thing, they get the blame for it. So maybe that was a little too far. So you got to imagine, if you're Germany, right? If you're living in Germany, it's like, why? We're getting blamed? Really? Come on. All right. So war guilt clause number one, loss of borderlands, meaning, hey, remember Alsace-Lorraine? Yeah, remember that territory that Germany took from France after the Franco-Prussian War? Right here along the Rhine, right here. Well, guess what? Now it's going to France. Oh, geez. Okay. Geez. All right. So that territory is going back to France. Right. We'll mention about it. You got to imagine 1870 to 1918. Right. That's a big chunk of time, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is. So what language do you think they're speaking there now? What language do you think, Jason? German, right? They're embracing German culture. They've been a part of Germany for that many years, right? About 50 years, right? Let's face it. So, you think they want to go back to France? Now, we'll mention about that here leading into World War II. Maybe some crazed guy with a weird mustache is gonna say, hey, they speak German, they have German culture, they should belong here to Germany. And we'll mention about the appeasement process here. All right, so that's the biggest one here. All the states learning here this territory. And here on the eastern side, wait a minute, that land that they got from the Treaty of Versailles, well, that's gone now too. Oh, that's gonna form countries like Poland. Ooh, Poland. All right, we'll mention when we get to World War II. So Union, Germany is gonna get that land back. That's gonna be one of the first means of attack there. Okay, all right, lots of overseas territories, right? If you don't have your overseas territories, that means you're getting rid, you don't have any resources, raw materials, your sphere of influence is gone, right? Now you're just freaking down to your borders here, right in the middle of Europe. Right, so Germany no longer has these territories around the world. It's gone, right? Can you grow as a world power without any territories? No, you need these, right? Let's face it. Okay. I know it's kind of a touchy subject, I get it, but, right, in order to compete with these other world powers, you need these colonies, you need these territories, you need the raw materials. Now it's gone. All right, loss of navy. Obviously, that's kind of implied, right? If you don't have these territories overseas, why are you gonna get there without a navy? You can't get there. Right, that means it's gonna get taken over, or they're gonna seek a revolution somehow, right? Who do you think threw that wrinkle in there? No navy, huh? Awesome.
Great Britain.
Yeah, right. Remember the Anglo-German naval arms race, right? You think Great Britain wants to see Germany challenge them again in the open seas? No, they hated the U-boats. They couldn't find them, right? We'll mention about other technology when we get to World War II to find them in deep in the ocean. But, right, that's one of the biggest things here that Great Britain threw in. Don't challenge us. Come on. All right, military reduced to 100,000 troops for only defensive purposes. That's it. That's it. Okay. Again, what did Germany have pride in? What was their main pride, their main focus? Right, what their culture was interwoven with, their military. Right, you take that away, what happens? You take away their pride, their culture. It's, oh, and I know that sounds wild, but it's true. All right, last thing here, war reparations. So $132 billion Germany had to pay. Think about that. You take away their industrial area of Alsace-Lorraine, right? Where it has coal, iron, right? All that means of industrial growth. You take away their overseas territories, right? There goes their raw materials. There goes their extractive economies. Can they pay back that debt? No. If you take away their factories, you take away their industries, you take away their overseas territories, how can they pay that back? Do you think there's a reason why they made it so large? Yes. And we're going to cripple them forever. We're not going to see them be a rival ever again. Okay? Anyway, guess when they finally paid off these reparations for World War I? Did I talk about this yesterday? Chase?
2010.
Yeah, 2010. You imagine that? It's crazy, right? Close to over 100 years. It's wild. It's crazy, dude. I hear you over there. All right, Chase, remind me, I gotta give you a lollipop now, right? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, so with that being said, the war reparations is supposed to cripple them, right? And the biggest thing here to know is why did it take so long to pay it off? And I'll have industries, I don't oversee territory, sure. But you think Hitler, when he comes in charge, you think he's gonna pay these reparations? No. That was a layup. No, I didn't even do that one. All right, here we go. So as you can see, here is the meeting, right? Where this treaty was signed, the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles. Beautiful stuff. The big four met. Real quick, before we leave off here, I want to mention Italy's a part of the big four. Okay. All right. Italy, remember, they're on the side of the Triple Alliance at the start of the war, right? At the end, though, did they jump ship? Yes, they're front runners, huh? Anyway, do you guys like front runners? Not really, right? Ohio State, the Dodgers. I mean, look at this side. Really? Bandwagon here. Okay. So with that being said, right, they're not going to let Italy just dictate what goes on. Italy's saying, hey, we want territories. Yeah, what Germany lost, we can gain. You think they gave them any territories? No. No, you're not getting nothing. Are you kidding? France, Great Britain, America is really the ones that won this war, not you. So Italy's disgraced. They're not happy, right, when they leave this treaty. And that's going to lead into World War II as well. Here's another one. Japan. Oh, we talked about Japan going against Russia, remember? Yeah. In World War One, they actually sided with the Allied powers. Japan was on the good guys' side. So what happens? Well, they did a lot of fighting, war against Germany and their territories in the Pacific, in Asia. Okay. As this negotiations happening, right? Some diplomats came from Japan. Do you think they had the same seat at the table as the Big Four? No, they were disrespected. They were viewed as lesser, inferior. And guess what? Do you think that's gonna take them off? Yeah, big time. They go back home thinking they just turned their backs on us. Right? These allied powers, really? We can't trust them. All right, so look at that. Germany's getting disgraced, Italy's getting disgraced, and Japan is. Is that the active powers in World War II? Yes, it is. Okay, this treaty just wow. All right, so there you go. Here's a good political cartoon detailing the terms. Obviously, Germany's not too happy. All right, 14 points. Just want to mention this. Okay, you guys can read this on your own, but it lays out everything which pretty much I talked about. Right, when it came to the reparation, the biggest one though, you guys make sure you detail this. Write this one down. The 14th point is the League of Nations. The League of Nations. All right, this is an organization where the countries would get together to talk before a war breaks out. You guys remember the Congress of Vienna? This is what was supposed to be, right? And then it failed. And now they're like, hey, we got to do something again. Right? Woodrow Wilson comes up with the idea. Guess who doesn't join? Elena. Yes, America does not join. Lollipop for you too, if you want it. All right, thank you. Thank you, Elena. Appreciate it. All right, so with the League of Nations, the United States doesn't join. That means, look at this political cartoon. Here's a good one, right? Here's the bridge of the League of Nations. All right, great, awesome. It's missing the most important piece, the keystone, the United States. So do you think that bridge is going to work? Do you think this bridge is going to be sustainable? No. All right, and maybe if we just joined in from the beginning, we wouldn't see World War II. I don't know. All right, many historians look at it and say maybe. Oh, perfect time. See us. Perfect time. That's Tuesday. What's this? Hold on one second.